Hello and welcome to Lesson Learned, a conversation about Mythcraft. I am Corey Griffin,
And I am Kobe Randolph.
and today we're going to be going over the Remnant lineage of Mythcraft and maybe come up with a few builds, maybe a few breaks, um, see what we can get excited for, right?
Sounds like a plan to me.
So I guess the question is, what is a remnant, right? Um,
Yeah. Quite different than a lot of the ones we're used to. A little something different for sure.
For sure. And something different does not mean something bad, or at least not my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I love the remnants.
yeah, they are quite good. But so, Kobe, what are they?
Yeah, so remnants can be the remains of anything: an ecological manipulation device, an arcane observatory, a dimensional gateway, etc. Their forms, though humanoid, are varied. However, they always share the sharp geometric patterns and bismuth-like formations of stone that make up their body. Romans had personalities varied than any other lineage, but they all possessed an essential desire to be useful, whether this translates to overthrowing tyrants or creating toys for children. Robots believe that all living beings are designed to be to complement one another in grand cosmotic symbiosis. Remnant find apparent when sapient creatures act in a selfish manner. They're the robots. They're kind
They
of like they're.
are they are our magic robots. I love them. I love them. So the height generally for these magical robots that we call remnants, um, yes, they are Mythcraft's answer to Warforged. Um, the height range is like 4 foot to 7 foot, and their weight is anywhere from like 150 pounds to 500 pounds. Though I would argue that you could weigh more depending on the material you're made out of. Because if I am like the heart of a dying star, I think I would be a little bit heavier. All
Yeah,
right.
they have a size of medium and base speed of 20 feet. And for their appearance, their remnants generally have a bright metallic sheen, and while some are monochrome, many sparkle with iridescent colors. It is possible to see light shining within many of their joints.
That sounds really cool. And we'll get to some funny things that I could see happening like that. But like I kind of picture like a bright bronze and then like octarine iridescence, right?
Hmm.
In my head, that just sounds like a really cool aesthetic. The lifespan of a remnant is the maturity. They are mature upon creation. They wake up mature. Must be nice. And their
Right.
lifespan is unknown.
Man, my frontal lobe is still trying to develop.
Trying. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Uh, We've seen Lesh.
All right. So at level 1, we do get some starting features with Remnant. The very first one that we get is going to be Armored Form. You cannot wear armor, but your base AR begins at 12. You can integrate armor into your form by spending at least 1 hour dismantling it and customizing it to your form. Armored integrated in this way grants all of its magical bonuses, but none of the AR. You can only integrate one suit of armor at a time. If you want to integrate like a new set of armor, you've got to first eject your current form of armor. Um, the ejected armor regains all of its original properties and no longer provides benefits to you unless you take the time to integrate it again.
Sorry. I was yawning there. It was worst time for me to have one. I think this is a really fun feature because it still allows you to have like the cool magic armors, which is very fun. Because like I
Right. And you do start with the same base as like Brigandine armor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is a very common like first armor provided by backgrounds
Whoops.
and occupations and professions.
Yeah.
But
Which brings us to our next one, the constructed form. You not need to eat or drink, but still must breathe and sleep.
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
It helps in survival campaigns when food's
yeah, definitely.
it's it's come up a lot in Cloven Lands with my remnant. RB doesn't need to eat.
Yeah, it has come up a few times. The next thing that we get is going to be a unique feature from the list we'll get into in a minute. Um, but yeah, so just from like what we've got, right? We've got armored form, so we're already going to be tankier than some people that are not wearing brigandine armor, which means whatever armor you get at level 1, the game does say that you can sell things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's just a quick money pull, right? Like, give me some money because I'm selling whatever basic armor I'm starting with because I don't need it. Um,
Bringing us to our remnant features, as they don't have a sub lineage. They you just kind of pick features, starting off with dark vision. You can see in darkness to a limit. Even without any light source, you cannot discern color while using your dark vision. While using dark vision, you can see up to 30 feet and then are blind beyond that point.
I mean, being able to see in the dark is just good. Next thing that we
Mm-hmm.
got is the divinity code. We learn 2 prayers of your choice from the divine source. These prayers count as psionic magic for you. Use your magic attribute if you have one. If not, you use charisma.
This is probably I think one of my favorites of the magic entry ones. I think between like not magic entry, but magic like you can get from a lineage is either divine or primal. I want always like those are I think my two favorites. It's there's so many good little things you can choose from it.
Oh yeah, I mean, keep standing on a rogue or any high mobility character is going to be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you're heavily invested in charisma, maybe you're a troubadour or a vessel, just having more magic, even though it's going to count as psionic for you. Um, or even grabbing this if maybe you're a zealot, go investing heavily in charisma as well. It's just strong. It, free magic. What I like about it though, and we'll probably get into talking about this a little more in the future, it counts as psionic, which is very interesting because we don't get a lot of those
Mm-hmm.
you get from this stack, but it counts as that stack.
Yeah, it's fun. I think it can lead to some fun stuff for sure.
Absolutely.
Our next
Um,
one being enhanced armor, which the prerequisite is being armored form, which you get obviously level 1. And this is a repeatable talent, and your AR increases by 2.
which is just strong. Like,
Yeah.
if you choose to take this at level 1, you're 14. You're you have the same AR as someone that would be wearing like chainmail instead of just brigadine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I happen to know that there will be example builds that take this feature more than once.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Uh,
After that, we're going to come to Illuminate, which by spending 1 AP, you can shed bright light up to 20-foot radius from yourself and dim light for double that distance. So 20 feet of bright light and 40 feet of dim light. Alternatively, you can choose to shine only dim light up to 20 feet. This light remains until you decide to spend an additional 1 AP to end it. Again, that like octarine glow just exploding out of my like bronzed remnant sounds really cool
yeah.
to me.
I will say this is one of the few features on Remnant that I'm like, it's decent, but I almost will always take if I want to light up, I'll always take Divinity Code over this one, unless I want to light up as well as Divinity Code.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Divinity Code you can take like twinkling lights or Sorry about that.
Oh no, I thought there was an audio issue. I started looking around. I wasn't looking at the camera.
No, Cammy's little sister came running down.
Okay.
Um, or Candle of Faith with the other one, which you can make something glow. So definitely think this is good. I mean, it's cool like to take after with that if you want to, get more out of the utility of the divine one. But if like you just want to glow, you can just take the one and make something you hold glow. But that's that. Besides that, this is like one of the few times I found a lineage stack where I'm like, oh, this can be used also with this. Almost, it is just a kind of better sense of it. But that's
Right.
just in the small chance where you want, if you know what I mean. It's
See, I would not use it for. I would not use um divinity code for candle of faith, or what was the other one you said? I'm sorry.
it's twinkling lights.
I wouldn't take either one of them. Not when I have
It's not
things
saying
like
that
keep standing or
I'm not saying that. I'm just there wouldn't be a point where if I already didn't have divinity code, I wouldn't take that before illuminate. Because if it's that important for me to glow and spend a level to like a talent to glow, I'll take the one that gives me something else with it as well. You know what I mean? And I have very few times where I would have anything to argue against. This is probably one of the few ones that I'm like, it had its usefulness, yes, but I would always take something else instead of it.
right. Goron, we're not trying to ignore you. That's okay. Um, so the next one that we have is manufacture, which you may cast minor conjuration cantrip from the arcane source, but it counts as a psionic for you when you cast it this way. Again, I got into like the shenanigans that you can get into when you can cast spells as if they were from a different source, and it's just another example of that. Um, so like with minor conjuration, it's a 1 AP um, cantrip, and you can create a small, simple, crude object with no mechanical or moving parts. The object cannot be longer than 1 foot in any dimension. These objects are very fragile, and if they are used as an improvised tool or weapon, roll a 1d20, and on a 9 or lower, the object breaks. You have to use a conjure. Once you use the conjuration, you cannot use it again until the duration is over, whether the object is broken or not. So you could take this. And I agree with you, Goron, that sometimes I wish they were granted a little more often. However, at the same time, I'm glad that they're not, because then everyone would be taking all of the good ones and all of the flavor options. There's less choice matters, and it's more when take matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my opinion. What I like about minor conjuration is you could literally conjure a short sword. How many times have you like had your weapons and stuff stripped from you, and then all you could just summon sword, right?
Yeah, it
A
is
summon
very fun.
hammer. It's really fun spell to get and count as psionic, where there's other fun summon things. It's just really good.
Definitely gives you a lot of stuff. Those are like I love spells that let you play. You know what I mean? Like it's what it gives you as base. You get to be creative with, and that's one of the one that really does that. Next, speaking of, we're gonna be going on to our next one, which is programmed appraisal, which is a repeatable. It's a skill point talent. Gain 6 skill points that you can spend on any skill to observation tag, and you cannot put more than +4 into a single skill using this feature.
I mean, again, I've went on record saying, "Oh, Goron, we'll get to weapon manifestation." Okay, but with manufacture, I could summon a greatsword. Anyway, I've went on record saying that the observation tag might be one of the strongest tagged skills. Right. So, I mean, skill points, we love them. We love to see them. Have bigger rolls, have less chance of failure. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. I think, like you said, it is just such a strong skill slot. It just
So the next thing that we're gonna have is gonna be programmed athleticism. And it's a repeatable. You gain +6 skill points that you can spend on any skill with the athleticism or stamina tags. You cannot put more than +4 in a single skill in this feature. Honestly, I think we just found something to bring up because a certain tag no longer exists.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
that was a playtesting tag, and it just wasn't removed from the books.
look at us. We're finding stuff.
I mean, we do find
you
things
you
when we
said
do
it, and I was like,
this.
stamina. I haven't heard that in forever.
I don't think either of those tags exist anymore. I'm gonna do a real quick lookup, but um,
Yeah, definitely don't want Goron or Doggin to have any more of the observation skills. That hasn't caused any problems at all.
okay. So there is the stamina. Oh, there is athleticism. Wait a minute. Athleticism. Oh, I thought it was athletics for a second. Never mind.
Is stamina still a tag?
Redact everything I just said. Redact everything I just said because the athleticism tag has applied force, athletics, and sprinting, and stamina has distance running, forced march, and menacing.
Those have been together in my head this whole time. Why?
Yeah,
How did I forget?
yeah. No, I feel weird because I just went on a minute and a half rant about being wrong, and I was just straight wrong. So the next one that we're gonna get is gonna be Tireless Sentinel. You're no longer physiologically required to sleep. You must still rest your mind, however, to avoid psychological effects of fatigue. 4 hours of quiet meditation is significant for you to take a rest, but you cannot take a rest more than once in a 24-hour cycle as usual.
I get why they added those words in the end there, but damn, do they make me sad if I can't break it.
I love it. I love it. They were very careful in some of their stuff.
Yeah, no, I love it, and like I said, part of me also hates how good they are making sure that we can't break things. Um, but our next one is gonna be tool manifestation. This is a repeatable one. Choose a tool or kit. You can produce that tool or kit from within yourself at will. But when you do, that tool or kit is considered to be part of your body, can only be used by you. Gain a +4 to all checks made with tools and kits that are part of you.
Yeah, just strong.
That is,
Right?
yeah, it is good. It's good.
Yeah. So the next one we're going to come to is going to be Warm. It has the prerequisite of Illuminate. And what it is by augmenting the heat that you produce by your advanced technological body, you may emit warmth akin to that of a campfire in a 10-foot radius around you. You can only do this when you catch your breath, recoup, or take a rest. Creatures within that radius who are not wet do not need to make endurance checks against the effects of extreme cold. If that's important, yeah, Hooded Lantern and Space Heater. If that's important for your games, that's important and is going to feel clutch.
These
Right?
guys are great for survival campaigns, truthfully. If there's it's so good.
Just so good.
uh
They don't
I
eat. They don't.
just
It is a Hooded Lantern and Space Heater that do not require fuel.
oh, I love it because this is really funny because I think the RP this is really funny as you go to camp and you're like, "Oh, I'm all cold." You like turn to your remnant in the party. He just like radiating heat like a fucking heater over like turning slowly and just let it come out of him. Uh, ooh, yes, this would bring us to weapon manifestation. Our second to last one. Choose a weapon with the one-handed tag. You manifest that weapon out of the material within your own dominant arm. You cannot throw the weapon, even if it has the thrown tag. It cannot be disarmed with the weapon unless your dominant arm is severed.
I mean, okay.
I,
So it is a weapon that cannot be disarmed unless they disarm you. Like they have to full on disarm you to disarm you. Um, with that being said, it needs to be a one handed weapon. So most one handed weapons, I think you're gonna max out with like a D6 hit. But being able to just have a D6 hit, even at level one, right? Just bam, D6 weapon. Always have it, never lose it. Well, almost never lose it. It's strong.
We need that talent feat for Remnant, the surprise second arm.
All right, and then the next one that we have is Weapon Manifestation 2. The weapon that you manifest can have the hand and a half tag. Um, you may use it with one hand or temporarily fuse your hands together to gain its hand and a half benefit. However, what you will take notice of, there's no two-handed weapons in here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's no two-handed weapons here. So, if I took manufacturer, I could have a two-handed weapon. Yes, I gotta roll a d every time I hit with it. I have to roll a d20, and if I roll a 9 or lower, I lose it. But okay. But guess what? I just summon another one, and another one, and another one. It's just again, 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 again. You can't stop me. If I disarm you, I'll be disarming you. But
Another one.
actually, that was a Marvel Rivals reference. But, for
The game
those
is
that
rotted my
understood the
brain.
reference.
Ooh.
Merely a flesh wound.
I remember what RB took for these now. So we go before we go into builds.
Yeah, I RB's what level 5 now.
Yeah, yeah. He just took a second one. Let me actually.
So you just
Oh, I
took
took.
a
I remember.
second one.
I think I remember what I took, but I'm gonna double check real quick. If you want to go with your build first, while I make sure I have mine right.
Yeah, no, I have no problem doing my example. So, um, there is the build that goes at level 1 weapon manifestation, at level 2 weapon manifestation 2. You get that. um I have to double check something real quick so that I don't make an ass of myself. Because sometimes I get talking and I end up speaking the wrong things. Um, but yeah, so you get weapon manifestation 1. Use a short sword for strength. And then when you get weapon manifestation 2, I would probably use bastard sword to reduce the AP cost. Get a D8 weapon for 2 AP at that point. Um, and then after that, I just start taking enhanced armor, probably all the way up, right? So 15, 20, 25, 24, 29. I end up with a. I end up with an AR of 24. So it ends up being. This is a super narrowly focused melee build that's focusing on um almost. To be fair, I'd also love to pair this with the berserker armor.
Oh my
Um
god, yeah.
right. But
I want RB to have that armor so bad.
um but like I want to turn it into the bastard sword, just like fucking fusing my hands together and just slicing through my opponents. Super high AR, super tanky, super strong. That frontline attacker, never gonna stop, never gonna put me down. Right, forward march. You ain't stopping this.
Ooh, that's a fun question.
Personally, yes. So the question that we got was, would we allow the Veils of the Eternal Night Curseblade to use their manifested weapon as their Curseblade weapon?
Yeah, I
And
also would, because that's badass.
um, when you say Zealot track with a sword, are you meaning conscripted blade? Maybe.
That's what
Um,
I would assume.
the fact that I can
Or
guess,
consecrated, sorry.
yeah, consecrated blade. There we go. I knew it wasn't right. It just sounded weird. Um,
I'm. It doesn't, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to with that. It literally is just holy weapon pretty much, and then bonuses on top of that.
yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to cast holy weapon on your weaponized arm.
That is, oh my god! I just had a fucking funny build now.
So I would probably go down the route of a touch of warrior for um some talents. Um, I'm mostly thinking things like probably hardy because I'm going to be up front, so that's going to be effective. Rend. Uh, Eventually, I'm going to get hacking blow so that I can rend with a hand and a half weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which will just be super helpful in the progression of that. I would probably take hacking blow at level 5. Um, I'm not going to see like huge power gains at level 2 because I took rend.
Mm-hmm.
But it would. I still think it would end up balancing out pretty well. Probably grab a level of berserker for rage AP because I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna want to do all kinds of attacks and stuff like that. And then I might just charge down the zealot track,
Yeah,
like a bull through a china shop.
that'd be so fun.
That being said, is the level of berserker required? No. You can just invest more in coordination than I probably would with that build,
Mm-hmm.
and come to the same conclusion. You would end up getting quicker into the zealot track. If that's important for you and your playstyle, do that. Obviously, this is just my example and like where I might take this because I could also see a small ranger dip for for just to give myself TA on attacks because I
Oh
like
yeah,
hitting.
with instinctive and shit.
Increase speed too, right? Even though I'm not really gonna have a problem with speed, uh, unless I do get like a super magical armor, I'm not gonna be wearing any, so I'm gonna have that base movement speed always.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm using a hand and a half weapon, I'm not gonna be using a shield. So yeah, the I have no problem with being like charge down, more hit points, high AR, big weapon and arm, slice, death, slash, go. The only thing I would not do with this build specifically would be meat pile. Because meat pile would get rid of the last 5 of my talents that I would end up taking. But anyway, speaking of meat pile, you want to tell us about what you did for our good egg-shaped friend Rockbreaker?
Yeah, RB, my boy Rockbreaker, he is indeed a meat pile remnant. I saw that armored form and was like, I love that I can increase it with talents, or I just say fuck armor ratings altogether and go into the other stuff, which is indeed what I did. For people who don't know, meat pile turns your hit die into a d20, and you have to roll it. RB is not rolled above a 10 except for one level of meat pile.
No, it was not.
Uh, so I'm not a
It,
big
it
meat pile.
also it also limits your defenses.
Yes, yeah. So
Uh,
you have above 11, or I think,
yeah,
or
AR can't be above 11, I believe, and you take a -2 to your reflexes.
so yeah, that was the start. And I went down dark vision because seeing the dark is important. My character was a rock breaker. I mean, he was literally built to be in the mine shaft, so I kind of been building around that more. Uh, but then I also did take Divinity Code for my level 5 one, and that is because I got a Curse Blade, and it made sense for the Curse Blade to give me some magic. So I also just made it work with my skill one to give myself like Keep Standing and I think it's Guide, which is the literally me keeping myself up with them swinging or me trying to break a rock, giving myself an extra D4. Going down further, I'm probably going to do Tireless Sentinel and then program athleticism the rest of the way and just give myself a bunch of pluses to my applied force and athletics skills as I'm going to just destroy rocks. Like this character is definitely built around the idea of I'm a robot made to break rocks and I'm going to build all my lineages kind of around that. I, I love him to death. He's one of my favorites. I wish he had more health, but that was about, but yeah, just really going hard in that program athleticism. I don't want a rock I can't break. Because right now there is one I can't break in the campaign, and it's pissing me the fuck off.
I'm Nah, I'm not gonna ruin the bit. I'm not gonna ruin the bit.
I don't think so. I think if it manages all your defenses, so if like you can't have any defense above, I think physical defense above an 11 for Meat Pile Goron. So evasive
Um,
and all those would also be based off of the new 11. I'm
yeah. So even so no, tough will not override the AR cap. Um, now if you are not a remnant and your starting AR is not higher than 11, um, yeah, I would not. Goron, I would not take it for Doggin because I would very rarely miss.
I
If you're
think
looking for more hit points, I would go down the Hardy track.
yeah, definitely. I think the only really way to get around necessarily the AR is they're all limited uses because like there's the one that you can base it off anticipation, but I'm pretty sure that's per uses per rest and stuff like that.
See, and here's my counterpoint for you right now. It states your AR cannot exceed 11. Period. Cannot. Now, if you can make it target a different defense, that's different. But if you're substituting into AR, you cannot exceed 11,
True. You're very right.
right? So even if it should be 14, if you cannot exceed 11, it's 11, right?
Yeah. No, I misread that one. You are 100% correct.
And now, if you can make them target a different defense, especially if you could turn a physical defense into a mental defense, um, no. So with tough, let's say you have a 4 endurance. If you have tough, then your AR would be 14. But if your AR cannot exceed 11, 14 is higher than 11. It's 11. Right?
Mm. No, that makes sense. I definitely I didn't understand that 100% the way it was, but that makes sense the way they worded it. I wonder if there's even a way to do that, make things that target your reflex or whatever. Well, I guess you kind of do another maybe mental. That would be hard. That'd be a fun talent though. Sorry,
Oh,
my brain's
yeah.
thinking about what
I
that would look
I
like.
okay, yeah, absolutely. Right? Um cuz like I'm just like trying to really explain the thought process. Okay. Also, your physical defenses also cannot exceed 11. So, in the example of tough, you're still maxed out at 11 because your physical defenses, so your AR and your physical defenses, which are reflexes and fortitude, cannot exceed 11. Can never exceed 11. I know we're on a bit of a tangent right now talking about meat pile instead of the armor track. And with tough, what tough says is that it's a little further down than I thought it was going to be. If you're not wearing armor, you may use your fortitude in place of your AR, but your AR cannot exceed 14 when doing so. Again, the physical defenses thing makes it so that you're it's still only going to be 11.
Damn.
Thank you for the defense of it's a really tangent.
Now I really want to make there be a way for me to make people attack my anticipation when it's a physical attack. That's now I want that.
You know, even if you were to go with impulse, because impulse would be anticipation, which is not a physical defense, your AR can never exceed 11.
Mm-hmm. That's why it would be cool if there was I think I might have been thinking unarmored awareness, but that is just you add it reactively when it is being attacked. I think my brain, I was thinking that one you made them attack your awareness with the unarmored one, which is what I would think would be which would be cool. That would be very strong for a meat pile, though. That would be so broken on a meat pile, which makes sense why they don't have that. Yeah, I forgot where you even came from to get there, truthfully.
But anyway, so what are as far as a skill build, I don't think remnants have a couple very very strong builds for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the fact that it has observation tag skills, which are some of the best skills. Not gonna lie, not even gonna joke. I'll stand on. Okay, I knew Goron was gonna come back with one. So there is predict attacks. Attacks targeting your AR must instead target your anticipation. That one would be very strong on a meat pile. If that's an actual talent and not something you're making up right now. I just realized he might be trolling me. He's trolling me. It is not official.
All right, let's make it official for my next character in Tales of Your Heart.
No. Sure, but you always have 2 death points.
That's pretty much my life with any melee character with you, Spaz.
Smith has never gotten death points yet.
Oh my god, he hasn't. We got something coming up. It's gonna happen.
But yeah, I don't think I there is also the example of just making a side knife rogue that's already going to invest in having psionic magic, taking the divine code and I closed my tab. I was dumb.
I think Cyanox are just great on
Yeah. I would take the Psi Knife Rogue. Divinity Code. I believe the other one was Manufacturer, which also honestly, a rogue that can conjure up its own tools with tool manifestation is a lot of fun as well. Because oh, we took all of your lockpicks for you. No, you didn't. Right. I if I was gonna build a skill remnant, a skill focused remnant, I would probably look outside of the remnant features, except for maybe 1 or 2 uses of programmed appraisal. Things like the rogue class, maybe just taking skill talents. Yeah, you fools! Those were my decoy lockpicks.
That's
You know.
actually
Um,
such a funny idea, though. Just the idea of like you're already a robot who's like, oh, I'm gonna give whatever tool my party needs. I'm just gonna be able to make for them. Like that is of such a. I feel like I'm giving more love to minor conjuration than I originally gave it because of this.
that wasn't minor conjuration. That was manifest tool.
Manifest tool.
Tool
Sorry.
manifestation.
Okay.
Sorry, tool manifestation. Um,
Oh, I didn't even think. I guess I didn't even think about lockpicks as a tool. I guess
yeah,
I don't know why I wouldn't think of them as a tool when I was thinking of that. But in my head, I was like, oh, you can't make lockpicks with that. But
yeah.
no, yeah.
Look under the tools. Lockpick kit is one of them.
Yeah, in my brain, I was thinking like lockpicks from Skyrim that are gonna break constantly. So how the hell do you make those out of you? But it is a tool in Mythcraft. That was just my own brain being like causing problems.
Fingernails, right? Like they grow back.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Oh man, that's cool as shit. I want to. That's the funny thing though. A huge giant remnant, big guy walking up. He's like, "All right, guys, I got this." Tink.
Right. It's just like skeleton key. The skeleton key pops out of his finger, which would be a lot of fun, right? Another like fun idea, at least for me, is like again, any psionic caster is going to be really strong as a remnant. Just grabbing things like we talked about before with like keep standing, um, guide, just for that utility of those two spells are absolutely amazing. Um,
Only gonna get better with the next backer. It.
yeah, no, I psionics is the age of psionics. Yeah, I'm not a skeleton. I'm a remnant. Um, so you could also go like Lorist, um, adept of the psionic as well with this. So if you wanted to be charisma based, you could. Um, outside of like I think the rogue would be intellect based, and if you went straight down the psionic source, it would be awareness based.
I actually didn't know what it was originally based off because I only look at it through the eyes of Lesh when I was looking at it. So I'm always like, I could use it with charisma.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not normally charisma.
Yeah, I didn't know if it
Loris
was
is
aware intellect. It was really I was thinking I hadn't even checked it. I've built so few magic characters in Mythcraft. As much as I love the magic system, like I want to hit stuff and make cool sounds with my mouth as a trumpet or my main build I've built.
it is awareness for the actual magic stack.
Okay.
Um, I was saying awareness. I wanted to make sure I was right.
Feel you. I have to say, reading like the Remnants again, like I've obviously built one and I've read one, which I love. There are very much so like the oh you got a face on you going. What'd you just think of?
No, 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 don't worry about that. We'll talk about it off stream.
Valid. I think it's one of the ones that like it really like helps you figure out who you are in a sense because like these are literally the things built into you. It's very cool. Like I all of them are like, oh, these add flavor to my character. This is like kind of, this is like when the remnant ones is like, nah, this is who you is, bro. Like this is what you were built for are these things, which I think adds a very fun, but also like there's a bit of weight into what you're choosing for a remnant. I think even more so because like it really defines kind of the what type of remnant you really are.
Right. Um. Yeah. So, I love the idea. I do enjoy that idea. Um. Sorry about the face, y'all. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I didn't draw attention to it. What do you mean?
Yes, you did. That's the problem. Um, but you got anything else when talking about remnants for us, bud?
I think I hit most of the points I wanted to, especially complaining about the fact I can't roll above a 10 with my Remnant for my meat pile. That's kills me.
True. But that was a choice. You decided to take meat pile. Um, but with that being said, if you guys are looking for new dice, check out Player and a Dice in the link in the video description. If I set that up right, I think I set that up right.
Yeah, we
Um,
did.
um, they have really nice dice. Badger uses them for 40K, but they also have polyhedral sets as well. I'm trying to think if we have anything else we're supposed to shout out at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember too. I was like, oh god, brain is not braining.
I think the dice shout out might be the only one. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. But that is going to be everything that we have for today. If you want to see how remnants work in our game, go ahead and check out our actual play podcast at Tales of Uvard. Found pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts.
Yeah, and if there's any topics you want us to cover, let us know. Our next episode is going to be the last of the base lineages. We're almost done them. Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please give us some options so we don't have to figure out what's next ourselves. We would love some give us something to choose from. Because otherwise we got to figure out through the whole bullshit. Do you have
Goran,
any idea?
uh, Goran, do you have a link for that for me to put in the video description? Because I don't have that. I should. I don't. But anyway, I'll make sure that goes in there. Check out the Riptide charity stream. There will be links when this becomes a posted video. Sorry for all of you that are not here at the moment. I knew I was forgetting some. I knew I was forgetting something.
At least we knew there was something there. We couldn't remember what it was, but we both knew it was there.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, check out our podcast, check out the Riptide charity stream, and I mean, check out Mythcraft. We have one more lineage, and then we're done going through lineages. I'm gonna have some. We're probably gonna have a couple ramble videos after that, because I want to get that magic video out. I want to get the magic video out where we talk about the magic system. I'm not sure we're going to go spell by spell. I'm not promising y'all that we're going to go spell by spell.
Shit, some of the spells deserve a whole fucking just recorded video.
Yeah. We might grab a couple of our favorites from each source and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen. Don't tempt me. Wolfpack Nate, don't tempt me. Anyway, with that being said, I hope that you all have a wonderful week. And next week we will be talking about the Hondu, which will be the last of our lineages. If you have any questions about any lineages, check out the playlist. We have them all there. I hope you all have a wonderful week.
Have a great time. Thank you guys for streaming in.